GTA Online is old, and so are these cars. Today I will be showing you 8 cars that have aged best. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and without any further ado, let's dive into it. Starting off very strong with a really old vehicle, we have the Karen Sultan. This car was released all the way back in September of 2013, so nowadays in GTA Online, extremely old. Since GTA Online's release, the Sultan has got one major upgrade, and it will be the fact it is a Benny's vehicle. Meaning if you purchase this for just $12,000, you can take it over to Benny's and fully upgrade it, turn it into the Sultan RS. The reasons for doing this are kind of obvious. It will pretty much completely overhaul this vehicle, give you a ton of different customization options, and overall just make it more in tune of GTA Online today. One major disadvantage of the Sultan is no missile lock-on jammer, which in my opinion is a huge letdown, especially if you guys play in public sessions a lot of the time. However, still a great vehicle to have. Even if you rarely use it, it is really nice to have in your garage, whether that be the Sultan RS or the standard Sultan. This next car also shares many similarities to the Sultan, another very iconic car. It will be the Elegy. In terms of similarities, the Elegy was also released around the same time, pretty much when GTA Online was released, and again, just like the Sultan, it will also have access to the Benny's upgrades. The standard Elegy is already a great car, but if you do choose to upgrade this to the Elegy Retro Custom, it will completely change the look of the Elegy, and in my opinion, it just makes it so much better. In terms of just having this one upgrade, I do think it makes the Elegy and the Elegy Retro Custom just a timeless classic. Stepping things up, this is where we get some more usable vehicles, especially in public sessions. The first one here is the Infernus. The Infernus is instantly recognizable, however it is slightly limited with its customization options, but what makes the Infernus extremely usable will be having access to the missile lock-on jammer, and in my opinion at least, I do think having access to this just makes the Infernus a much more usable car. The only real downside that I see with the Infernus is limited customization, but even knowing this, the Infernus still looks incredible and will still hold up well even today. This next car might surprise a few people because I honestly did not think this car was as old as it is. It will be the Sterling GT. This thing came out all the way back in 2015, however since this time, the Sterling GT has got many different upgrades. One of the main ones will be the HSW upgrades, making this such a fun car to drive around with. The sound of the Sterling GT is very unique. Not many other vehicles really sound like this, and even if you do not have access to HSW upgrades, it will also have the missile lock-on jammer available, so a really fun car to mess around with, and overall has aged extremely well. Next up we have the Armored Kuruma, also released around the same time as the Sterling GT. Out of all of the vehicles in this list, the Armored Kuruma honestly does have probably the least amount of changes, but this is one car that really does not need anything else. Even to this day in GTA Online, this is probably one of the most used cars for missions, and potentially even some different heist setups. With the Armored Kuruma being almost completely bulletproof, barring the different slits in the windows, it still holds up incredibly well. Even the price of the Armored Kuruma is an absolute bargain at just a little over $500,000. Even if you do not find yourself using it often, it could still come in really useful if you struggle on a mission. From time to time, I like to use this for the Dr. Dre contract. Quite unfortunately, the Armored Kuruma will not have the missile lock-on jammer, and for this vehicle specifically, that is a huge letdown. It really makes it only useful against NPCs. Next up we have the Duke of Death. Surprisingly, this vehicle came out before the Armored Kuruma, and in terms of GTA Online nowadays, this might be one of the best investments. The Duke of Death came into GTA Online all the way back in 2014 with some explosive resistance, being able to tank one RPG and drive off completely unscathed. Similar to the Armored Kuruma, the Duke of Death for the longest time did not even have the missile lock-on jammer, but recently Rockstar did add it to the Duke of Death, and paired with that explosive resistance and even the price of the Duke of Death, it makes it one of the best budget cars and quite easily one of the best cars that has aged with the game itself. The second to last car here will be the Banshee, another vehicle that released all the way back in 2013, and in my opinion the Banshee really does have some of the best upgrades out of all of these cars we have gone through. First of all, it can be bought on the Legendary Motorsport website. It can have a Benny's upgrade, turning it into the Banshee 900R, or instead an HSW upgrade, making this probably one of the most affordable HSW cars. There will not be any missile lock on jammer, however, if you guys just like customizing vehicles, the Banshee is still one of the best for this, and it really has come a long way. I love the Banshee's handling, and even with the HSW upgrades applied, it is very consistent. And last but not least, we have the Zentorno. The Zentorno came to GTA Online in 2014, and is another one of these cars that is instantly recognizable, still extremely reliable, relatively fast, it will have a missile lock on jammer, and Rockstar even added some new liveries for the Zentorno. I think what makes the Zentorno really stand out is first of all its appearance. It still looks incredible compared to most vehicles in GTA Online, and obviously nowadays having access to the missile lock on jammer really makes the Zentorno a very usable vehicle. Another bonus feature that I love about it is the back of the vehicle where you guys can actually shoot out of it, but no bullets can get through. This used to be super overpowered all the way back in 2014, and it makes it a really nice feature to use for different contacts missions and heist setups alike. At this point we do have some honourable mentions. Now, I do not think these ones have too many good features compared to the ones I have mentioned, but if anything they have really nice throwback ones and they still look really nice. First of all, we have the Turismo R. This standard Turismo handles incredibly well, and even after driving some of the best handling vehicles like the LM87 or the S80RR, this Turismo still holds up pretty well. This is one car in particular that I wish Rockstar just updated. Even if they just added a missile lock on jammer, or even better the HSW upgrades, it would make it such a better car. The next honourable mention is the Pifter Comet. Once again, the same sort of scenario with the Turismo. Not too much has changed, however it still looks incredible. Another solid throwback vehicle. And the last two honourable mentions will be the T20 and the Osiris. Both of these two cars are extremely nice as well, however they do lack some features, and compared to some of the cars already in this list, I think it is fair to say that these ones slightly miss out. Is there any cars that I missed out that you think are much better than the ones I have mentioned? If there is, make sure to leave a comment below. Also let me know what your favourite car is from this entire video. I think for me personally, I have to give it to the Duco Def, with just how many different features it has now, and with it also being free. And I do think for old time's sake, the Zentorno just has to be one of my favourites. I also think for a time in GTA Online it was the fastest car in the game, and every time I make a new GTA Online character, I always try and pick up the Zentorno whenever I can. At this point in GTA's life cycle, I would have thought Rockstar would have included a bunch more vehicles with the HSW upgrades, or even at least more vehicles with missile lock on jammers, specifically these older type of vehicles. Another car that really comes to mind will be the Truffade Adder, another extremely iconic car, and all the way back in 2013 everyone was trying to get their hands on this. It's probably also worth mentioning that Rockstar did eventually add some other cars, sort of similar to these older vehicles. For example, the Truffade Adder does have the Truffade Nero, another really standout car in my opinion, which can also have Benny's upgrades. Probably worth a mention at least, because I do think that could easily be in this list, because this is another car that was released all them years ago. But yeah, like I've already mentioned, if you think there should be another car that I should have included, definitely make sure to leave a comment and let me know, or at the very least remind me. There is so many different cars in GTA Online nowadays, making it increasingly harder to even find the cars you want in-game. If you found this video useful or it helps you out in any way, shape or form, make sure to leave a like. I always do appreciate your support. And if you are new to the channel and like what you see, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.